दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मनमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावी अपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकम् असत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितां यत्साक्षात् करणात् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नानाच्छिद्रघटोदरस्थितमहाप्रभाभास्वरं ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरणद्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव भान्तम् अनुभात्येतत्समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियामपि चलां बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजडोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्ताभृशं वादिनः मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहा व्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये राहुग्रस्तदिवाङ्करेन्दुसदृशः मायासमाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतो यो भूत्सुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये ययप्यभिज्ञायते श्रीमै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बाल्यादिषु अपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्तास्वनुवर्तमानमहम् इत्यन्तःस्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये विश्वं पश्यति कार्यकारणतया स्वस्वामिसम्बन्धतः शिष्याचार्यतया तथैव पितृपुत्रात्यात्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागृति वा य एष पुरुषो माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये भूरम्भांस्य नलो नीलोऽम्बरमहर्णार्थो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति चराचरात्मकमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकं नान्यत् किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशतां यस्मात् परस्मात् विभोः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं यस्मिन्स्तवे तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात् ध्यानात् च संकीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमहाविभूतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं स्वतः सिद्ध्येत्तत्पुनरष्टधा परिणतं चैश्वर्यमव्याहतम्. Okay, I think we have enough time to go through the 108 names. Let's do a little bit more practice so you can just follow me. So let's just do that. Om Spatikaritavarnam Auktakim Akshamalam Amritakalashavidyam Jnanamudram Karagre Dadatamuraga Kaksham Chandrachudam Trinetram Vidrita Vibhidabhusham Dakshina Murtamide. And we will do this 3 times and you can follow after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayaccha Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayaccha Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayaccha Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayaccha Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayaccha Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Medham Pragyam Prayaccha Swaha. Om Omkara Simha Sarvendraya Namaha. Om Omkaro Dhyana Namaha. Om Omkaro Dhyana Namaha. Om Omkara Nida Shukaraje Namaha. Om Omkara Nida Shukaraje Namaha. Om Omkararanya Punjaraya Namaha. Om Omkararanya Punjaraya Namaha. Om Nagaraja Sutta Janaye Namaha. Om Nagaraja Sutta Janaye Namaha. Om Nagaraja Nijalayaya Namaha. Om Nagaraja Nijalayaya Namaha. Om Navamanikyamadhyaya Namaha. Om Navamanikyamadhyaya Namaha. Om Navachandrashikhamanaye Namaha. Om Navachandrashikhamanaye Namaha. Om Nanditashesha Maunindraya Namaha. Om Nanditashesha Maunindraya Namaha. Om Nandishadimadeshikaya Namaha. Om Nandishadimadeshikaya Namaha. Om Mohanalasadhasaraya Namaha. Om Mohanalasadhasaraya Namaha. Om Moha Ambujasudhakaraya Namaha. Om Moha Ambujasudhakaraya Namaha. Om Mohandhakarataranaye Namaha. Om Mohandhakarataranaye Namaha. Om Mohotpalanabhomanaye Namaha. Om Mohotpalanabhomanaye Namaha. Om Bhakti-jnanabdhishitanshave Namaha. Om Bhakti-jnanabdhishitanshave Namaha. Om Bhakta-jnanatrinalaya Namaha. Om Bhakta-jnanatrinalaya Namaha. Om Bhakta-ambojasahasranshave Namaha. Om Bhakta-ambojasahasranshave Namaha. Om Bhakta-keki-ghana-ghanaya Namaha. Om Bhakta-keki-ghana-ghanaya Namaha. Om Bhakta-kairavara-kendave Namaha. Om Bhakta-kairavara-kendave Namaha. Om Bhakta-koka-divakaraya Namaha. Om Bhakta-koka-divakaraya Namaha. ॐ गजाननादिसम्पूज्याय नमः। गजाननादिसम्पूज्याय नमः। ॐ गजचर्मोज्ज्वलाकृतये नमः। गजचर्मोज्ज्वलाकृतये नमः। ॐ गङ्गाधवलदिव्याङ्गाय नमः। गङ्गाधवलदिव्याङ्गाय नमः। ॐ गङ्गापङ्किलसज्जटाय नमः। ॐ गगना अम्बरसंवीताय नमः। गङ्गा अम्बरसंवीताय नमः। ॐ गगनामुक्तमूर्धजाय नमः। गगनामुक्तमूर्धजाय नमः। ॐ वदनाब्जचिताब्जश्रिये नमः। ॐ वदनाब्जचिताब्जश्रिये नमः। ॐ वदनेन्दुस्फुरद्दिशाय नमः। वदनेन्दुस्फुरद्दिशाय नमः. So this is a double one. So वदनेन्दुस्फुरद्दिशाय नमः. ॐ वदनेन्दुस्फुरद्दिशाय नमः. Good. ॐ वरदानैकनिपुणाय नमः। वरदानैकनिपुणाय नमः। ॐ वरवीणोज्ज्वलत्कराय नमः। वरवीणोज्ज्वलत्कराय नमः। ॐ वनवाससमुल्लासाय नमः। वनवाससमुल्लासाय नमः। ॐ वनवीरैकलोलुपाय नमः। वनवीरैकलोलुपाय नमः। ॐ तेजःपुञ्जघनाकाराय नमः। तेजःपुञ्जघनाकाराय नमः। ॐ तेजसामपि भासकाय नमः। तेजसामपि भासकाय नमः। ॐ विनेयानां तेजःप्रदाय नमः। तेजःप्रदाय नमः। ॐ तेजोमयनिजाश्रमाय नमः। तेजोमयनिजाश्रमाय नमः। ॐ दमितानङ्गसङ्ग्रामाय नमः। दमितानङ्गसङ्ग्रामाय नमः। ॐ दरहासजिताङ्गनाय नमः। दरहासजिताङ्गनाय नमः। ॐ दयारससुधासिन्धवे नमः। दयारससुधासिन्धवे नमः। ॐ दरिद्रधनसेवदये नमः। दरिद्रधनसेवदये नमः। ॐ क्षीरेन्दुस्फटिकाकाराय नमः। क्षीरेन्दुस्फटिकाकाराय नमः। ॐ क्षीरेन्दुमुकुटोज्ज्वलाय नमः। क्षीरेन्दुमुकुटोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ क्षीरोपहाररसिकाय नमः। क्षीरोपहाररसिकाय नमः। ॐ क्षिप्रैश्वर्यफलप्रदाय नमः। क्षिप्रैश्वर्यफलप्रदाय नमः। ॐ क्षिप्रैश्वर्यफलप्रदाय नमः। क्षिप्रैश्वर्यफलप्रदाय नमः। ॐ नानाभरणमुग्धाङ्गाय नमः। नानाभरणमुग्धाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ नारीसम्मोहनाकृतये नमः। नारीसम्मोहनाकृतये नमः। ॐ नादब्रह्मरसास्वादिने नमः। नादब्रह्मरसास्वादिने नमः। ॐ नागभूषणभूषिताय नमः। नागभूषणभूषिताय नमः। ॐ मूर्तिनिन्दितकन्दर्पाय नमः। मूर्तिनिन्दितकन्दर्पाय नमः। ॐ मूर्तामूर्तजगद्वपुषे नमः। मूर्तामूर्तजगद्वपुषे नमः। ॐ मूलाज्ञानतमोभानवे नमः। मूलाज्ञानतमोभानवे नमः। ॐ मूर्तिमत्कल्पपादपाय नमः। मूर्तिमत्कल्पपादपाय नमः। ॐ तरुणादित्यसङ्काशाय नमः। तरुणादित्यसङ्काशाय नमः। ॐ तन्त्रीवादनतत्पराय नमः। तन्त्रीवादनतत्पराय
तत्पराय नमः।
ॐ तरुमूलैकनिलयाय नमः।
ॐ तरुमूलैकनिलयाय नमः।
ॐ तप्तजाम्बूनदप्रभाय नमः।
ॐ
तप्तजाम्बूनदप्रभाय नमः। ॐ तत्त्वपुस्तोलसत्पाणये नमः।
ॐ तत्त्वपुस्तोलसत्पाणये नमः।
ॐ तपनोडुपलोचनाय नमः।
ॐ तपनोडुपलोचनाय नमः।
ॐ यमसन्नुतसत्कीर्तये नमः।
ॐ
यमसन्नुतसत्कीर्तये नमः। ॐ यमसंयमसंयुताय नमः।
ॐ यमसंयमसंयुताय नमः।
ॐ यतिरूपधराय मौनिने नमः।
ॐ यतिरूपधराय मौनिने नमः।
ॐ यतीन्द्रोपास्य विग्रहाय नमः।
ॐ यतीन्द्रोपास्य विग्रहाय नमः।
ॐ मन्दारहाररुचिराय नमः।
ॐ मन्दारहाररुचिराय नमः।
ॐ मदनायुतसुन्दराय नमः।
ॐ मदनायुतसुन्दराय नमः।
ॐ मन्दस्मितलसत्वक्त्राय नमः।
ॐ
मन्दस्मितलसत्वक्त्राय नमः। ॐ मन्दस्मितलसत्वक्त्राय नमः। मन्दस्मितलसत्वक्त्राय नमः। ॐ मधुराधरपल्लवाय नमः।
ॐ मधुराधरपल्लवाय नमः।
ॐ मञ्जीरमञ्जुपादाब्जाय नमः।
ॐ मञ्जीरमञ्जुपादाब्जाय नमः।
ॐ मणिपट्टोलसत्कटये नमः।
ॐ मणिपट्टोलसत्कटये नमः।
ॐ हस्ताङ्कुरितचिन्मुद्राय नमः।
ॐ हस्ताङ्कुरितचिन्मुद्राय नमः।
ॐ हठयोगपरोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ हठयोगपरोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ हंसजप्याक्षमालाढ्याय नमः।
ॐ हंसजप्याक्षमालाढ्याय नमः।
ॐ हंसेद्वाराद्यपादुकाय नमः।
ॐ हंसेद्वाराद्यपादुकाय नमः।
ॐ मेरुशृङ्गतटोल्लासाय नमः।
ॐ मेरुशृङ्गतटोल्लासाय नमः।
ॐ मेघश्याममनोहराय नमः।
ॐ मेघश्याममनोहराय नमः।
ॐ मेधाङ्कुरालवालाग्र्याय नमः।
ॐ
मेधाङ्कुरालवालाग्र्याय नमः। ॐ मेधापक्वफलद्रुमाय नमः।
ॐ मेधापक्वफलद्रुमाय नमः।
ॐ धार्मिकान्तर्गुहावासाय नमः।
ॐ धार्मिकान्तर्गुहावासाय नमः।
ॐ धर्ममार्गप्रवर्तकाय नमः।
ॐ धर्ममार्गप्रवर्तकाय नमः।
ॐ धामत्रयनिजारामाय नमः।
ॐ धामत्रयनिजारामाय नमः।
ॐ धर्मोत्तममनोरथाय नमः।
ॐ धर्मोत्तममनोरथाय नमः।
ॐ प्रबोधकारदीपश्रिये नमः।
ॐ प्रबोधकारदीपश्रिये
नमः। ॐ प्रकाशितजगत्र्याय नमः।
ॐ प्रकाशितजगत्र्याय नमः।
ॐ प्रज्ञाचन्द्रशिलाचन्द्राय नमः।
ॐ प्रज्ञाचन्द्रशिलाचन्द्राय नमः।
ॐ प्रज्ञामणिवराकराय नमः।
ॐ प्रज्ञामणिवराकराय नमः।
ॐ ज्ञानान्तरभासात्मने नमः।
ॐ ज्ञानान्तरभासात्मने नमः।
ॐ ज्ञातृज्ञादिविदुरगाय नमः।
ॐ ज्ञातृज्ञादिविदुरगाय नमः।
ॐ ज्ञानज्ञाद्वैतदिव्याङ्गाय नमः।
ॐ
ज्ञानज्ञाद्वैतदिव्याङ्गाय नमः। ॐ ज्ञातृज्ञादिकुलागताय नमः।
ॐ
ज्ञातृज्ञादिकुलागताय नमः। ॐ ज्ञातृज्ञादिकुलागताय नमः। ॐ ज्ञातृज्ञादिकुलागताय नमः। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताग्र्याय नमः। प्रपन्न पारिजाताग्र्याय नमः। ओम प्रणतार्थ्यप्तिवाडवाय नमः। प्रणतार्थ्यप्तिवाडवाय नमः। ओम भूतानां प्रमाणभूताय नमः। ओम प्रपंचहितकारकाय नमः। ओम यत्तत्त्वमसि वित्संवेद्याय नमः। यत्तत्त्वमसि संवेद्याय नमः। ओम यक्षगेयात्मवैभवाय नमः। यक्षगेयात्मवैभवाय नमः। ओम यज्ञादिदेवतामूर्तये नमः। यज्ञादिदेवतामूर्तये नमः। ओम यजमानवपुर्धराय नमः। ओम छत्राधिपतिविश्वेशाय नमः। छत्राधिपतिविश्वेशाय नमः। ओम छत्रसामरसेविताय नमः। छत्रसामरसेविताय नमः। ओम चंद्रशास्त्रादिनिपुणाय नमः। ओम छलजात्यादिदूरगाय नमः। छलजात्यादिदूरगाय नमः। ओम स्वाभाविकसुखैकात्मने नमः। स्वाभाविकसुखैकात्मने नमः। ओम स्वानुभूतिरसोदधये नमः। ओम स्वराज्यसम्पदध्यक्षाय नमः। स्वराज्यसम्पदध्यक्षाय नमः। ओम स्वात्मा राम महामतये नमः। स्वात्मा राम महामतये नमः। ओम हाटकाभजटाजूटाय नमः। हाटकाभजटाजूटाय नमः। ओम हासोदस्तारिमण्डलाय नमः। हासोदस्तारिमण्डलाय नमः। ओम हालाहलोज्ज्वलग्गलाय नमः। हालाहलोज्ज्वलग्गलाय नमः। ओम हार्दग्रन्थिविमोचकाय नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम श्री दयानंद गुरवे नमः। ओम श्री महेशानंद सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं। सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ऋकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्त्वनिवर्तकः। अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुनित्यविधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै। तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Let's chant. Karika number 22, 23, and 24 first, and then we will do the Upanishad number 7 and 12. So Karika number 22, starting with that. Trishu dhamasu yatulyam Samanyam Veti Nishchitaha
Samanyam Veti Nishchitaha
Sapujya Sarvabhutanam
Sapujya Sarvabhutanam
Vandyaschaiva Mahamunihi
Vandashaiva Mahamunihi
Akaro Nayate Vishwam
Akaro Nayate Vishwam
Ukaraschapi Taijasam
Ukaraschapi Tejasam
Makarascha Punaf Pragyam
Makarascha Punah Pragyam
Na Matre Vidyate Gatihi.
Na Matre Vidyate Gatihi
Number 24. Omkaram Padasho Vidyat
Omkaram Padasho Vidya
Pada Matrana Samshayaha
Pada Matrana Samshayaha
Omkaram Padasho Jnatva
Omkaram Padasho Jnatva
Na Kinchidapi Chintayet.
Nakinchitapi Chintayet
Number 7. Mandukya number 7. Na antah pragyam na bahish pragyam
Nantah Pragyam Na Mahish Pragyam
na ubhayatah pragyam na pragyanaghanam
Navayata Pragyam Na Pragyanaganam
na pragyam na pragyam
Na Pragyam Na Pragyam
adrishtam abhyavaharyam
Adrishtam Avyavaharyam
agrahyam alakshanam
Agrahyam Alakshanam
achintyam abhyapadeshyam
Achintyam Abhyapadeshyam
ekatma pratyayasaram
Ekatma Pratyayasaram
prapanchopashamam shantam
Pramachopashanam Shantam
shivam advaitam
Shivam Advaitam
chaturtham manyante
Chaturtham Manyante
sa atma sa vigyeyah.
Sa Atma Sa Vijneyah
Number 12. Amatras chaturtho vyavaharyah Amatras chaturtho vyavaharyah Prapancho upashamaha
Prapanchopashamah
Shivodvaita eva monkaraha Shivodvaita eva monkaraha Atma eva
Atma Eva
samvishati
Samvishati
Atma Atmana Atmanam
Atmana Atmanam
Ya evam Veda.
Ya Evam Veda
So we saw in the last class that the last verse of the Mandukya Upanishad, number 12, which is the last one, the final verse, and after that, then the Karika really starts. It's been going on for interspersed with the Mandukya verses, but after that, the Karika then tries, which is Mananam, based on Mananam. Up to now it is more of Shravanam. But to give the idea of what needs to be done by those who are very serious about making sure that this life is put to most use for ourselves. This is the thing that we have to do. We have to really we have to change courses so that this becomes the primary objective in our life, is to gain complete freedom. And so any kind of a any kind of a sukham which is based on a setup. Swami Paramarthananda made a very beautiful, that's what reminded me of this. He said that any kind of a sukham, any kind of a joy that you have, which is due to a setup, and this is what we have in our life. We gain our happiness through some setup. Everything should be okay, this should be okay, this should be okay. The problem with it is that any kind of a sukham due to the setup is subject to the opposite, which is upset. Really good words. This is the issue that we have. And so then we cry about it and say that didn't work out, I'm very sorry, this, that, or the other. And even pleasant experiences, even though they had no problems, but the very loss of the pleasant experience is upset. Now, why do I have to do this again? Then I have to go to some other travels. This is over now. Then you go back into the middle seat and all those kinds of things. And so this is the issue in life. So finally, it should just dawn on us that this is just chasing my tail forever. I need to find somewhere where, is there something? And so the Shastra says absolutely, absolutely. You just have to just dwell on the very nature of yourself and the very experiences of your life. And so, for those of us that are very serious, then we need to be given instructions on what does it mean, what do I need to do. So in this case, the 12th verse, the final verse, as we talked about it in the last class also, repeats number 7. But the repetition is done with a slight purpose. And the purpose is there are actually two purposes. Swami Maheshanji pointed this out, very beautiful. He said, if you look at a knot that we make out of something, then the knot is strengthened if we double it. Because a single knot in our experience is good, but it is subject to being unknotted. But if you make a double knot, then it really becomes very much firmer, harder to take off. So here also in number 7, avyavaharyam, and so on, is the first knot. Then avyavaharyaha prapancha upashamaha shivaha advaitaha, that we are going to study today in more depth, is the second knot. So this is one aspect of it that we should think about. The second aspect of that is this interplay of these two words called jnanam and vijnanam. Jnanam and vijnanam are just two stages of the same thing. And it's not any different from a person learning a new language. And so when you learn a new language, then you are struggling with the basics of the language. What is the pronunciation? How is the alphabet written? How are the, and so on. And so it's not as though it is not knowledge, but it is not a knowledge where you are fluent with it. You really use it just like we speak in English now. We just, and first, I don't know how we learnt it. This silly joke comes to my mind. They say this, the defense minister of India, what was his name? Baldev Singh or something like that. So, huh? No, this is the old, right after partition, there was a defense minister. And
Baldev Singh.
Baldev Singh. Yeah, I think Baldev Singh. So they say this is a fact. So he was, there, when you become a big minister, then you go to the West and talk to the other Westerners and represent your country. So he came to the West and he came back and he said, those countries have made so much progress. It is amazing. We are still struggling with it, but they are very fluent in everything. So they said, what are they proud? He says, I was talking to 3-year-olds and they were speaking English very fluently. I cannot even understand the basics of it. This is what happens. The children first learn the basics and then they become fluent in it. And so the Vijnanam means, first we have to know what is avyavaharyam, what is advaitam, as we will see today. But then when the vision of the avyavaharyam, advaitam, shivam, etc. becomes so set in my mind that I see everything with those eyes, that is called Vijnana. It's called Vijnana. This is another thing. Then the third aspect of this is that this verse, as are all these verses, have a heavy dose of upasana. Upasana means, really, if you boil down to the basics of what upasana means. So karma, upasana and jnanam, these are the 3 steps. So the karma is just starting to do things in the right way is called karma. Upasana, when you boil down to the essence of what upasana is, it means love. You automatically are attracted to it. And we will see some of this, how I'm just leading up to it. So the upasana means a transition from, first of all, being told to do something, following the doing things in a prescribed way, doing the right thing. This is important, that's the very first thing. But then you really fall in love with it. You are naturally attracted to it. And nobody has to tell you anything. This is the right thing for you to do. So these verses, this last one in particular, are upasana paravakya. And then the upasana paravakya means when you're in love with something, then you know all about it. You become an expert in it. You become easy to live it, which is jnanam. This is how it is to be done. So what it really means is that, at first we are told this is what the Atma is and this, that or the other, and we have no idea what Atma is. I just think that the way I am as a person, as a jiva, this is who I am. I don't know what else to do. And there through Viveka it is said, no, there is some Shuddha Atma that you are, that you do not quite grasp. Please look into that. And I says, okay, I'll look into that. What do I look into it? And all of this is what is called jnanam. This is just the introduction. But then, when you see glimpses of the Atma, glimpses of the Atma means what? Really, when you drill down to it, as we say that if your happiness is through a setup, which is natural to us, we are all accustomed to having happiness through setups. One kind of a setup or the other. All various setups we have. We have our individual optional setups. We don't yet know my happiness without a setup. Just the way I am. Not having to do anything. Not having to... And at first it doesn't seem like it's possible. Because I'm so biased in favor of externalizing my life. That's all I'm doing. The only question is, what do I do, what I don't do? But I have to do something. But an introduction to yourself through the fact that you are the very essence of you, means Ishvara is the very essence of you, where you don't have to do anything. And just a glimpse of it, because we're not convinced of it. It just looks like words. But if through the words of the Shastra, I have the courage, it's really more courage. It is something so amazing that I am shy of looking at it. This is what happens. We should be excused for that. But if I do a glimpse of myself, even a small glimpse, then I develop a love for it. Then it is not a matter of going to classes and doing this, that, or the other. I am naturally attracted to it. My gosh. This is the subject of this upasana. This is the subject of the last verse. This is what would be called Vijnanam. Jnanam is just the introduction, that you must look at yourself, stop beating about the bush. All of that is Jnanam. But you yourself don't have a drishti towards your own self, which is the very source of the happiness. And if you do, then your job is now done. Now you are on your way. No one has to tell you anything, because there is an amazing thing that you have to discover by yourself. There's Swami Maheshananji gave this some unrelated example from someplace else, but he was saying, he says this happens all the time when you have these Mahatmas and Swamis, then they gather a lot of crowds and so on. So this guy came to me, he says, "Sir," Swamiji was saying that my disciple came to me and he said, "Sir, I need to make a decision. I have a daughter who is, now she's becoming a woman, and I need to figure out when to get her married. So what do you think I should do?" So Swamiji says, "Well, have you made some inquiries?" So she's still in the second year of junior college. So she's just gone through some matriculation and so on, but she has not gone through a BA degree yet. So then the parents also start looking at matches for the daughter, as it happens in India all the time. And so he says, "Have you started to look for a match?" So the fellow said, "Yeah, but we are not getting a good match yet." So Swamiji said, "Let her study then. Finish her BA." And then after BA, she finished her BA, this fellow came back and he said, "Sir, I am now wondering, we are getting some offers, but I am still wondering, should I ask her to continue to her MA?" He said, "Yes, ask her to do her MA. Continue to ask." After her MA was done, he did not come back. And now she got married and then fell in love with the husband. And the husband also fell in love with her, and the two got married, and the husband had so much money, he doesn't have to work or anything. That happens all the time. The boy is the one who is responsible for it. So Swamiji says this is exactly what happens in our introduction to the self. And then you say, how long should I continue? And in fact, this will come. Omkaram, in number 24, I'm actually borrowing some stuff from it. Omkaram padasho jnatva na kinchidapi chintayet. Means that how long should I do upasana? keep on studying. You know, you're not getting engaged to yourself yet. So keep on studying. After a while, then you say, well, I've been doing it for a long time. What else do I have to do? That means you have not discovered a drishti towards your Atma yet. Somebody else has to tell you, keep on coming to the classes, do this, and so on and so forth. Once you become qualified, in fact, this is a very beautiful thing. This is what it comes in, I'm just borrowing some stuff. Atma eva samvishati atmana atmanam ya evam veda. And so I might as well just go through this. I'm doing it out of sequence. Here, Swami Maheshanji points out that really speaking, you do not need any other sadhana. Nothing would have to be done. Your Atma will attract you yourself to a point where you don't need any external aids to get that done. I think, and he was describing this girl who was getting married, that once you get married and the vara, the person chooses you, your job is done. Then it is just living a life of luxury and love and so on. You don't have to keep looking for somebody. You don't have to keep on. Until then, you have to get qualified. That was his idea. That go on, do the BA. You know, this also reminds me, Swami Dayanandji, Swami Dayanandji used to say that. There are a lot of people who come to him and said, Swamiji, I need your advice. And he says, why? What do you want to know? He says, I'm wondering whether I should go back to India to settle down. So he says, so he was a single person. So he says, well, I don't think you should. He says, why? He says, you know why? Because if you really were convinced about going, you would not have asked me. You would have told me, Swamiji, I just want to let you know that this is what I'm going to be doing. And in case you have some other ideas, but this is my mind is set. So that means you are not qualified yet to make the decision. But this is the progression that the Upanishad is presenting. Now let's get into the focus. There's a lot to be understood. Please listen carefully. So we already talked about amatraha. So amatraha means not something which is measurable. It's not saying how happy will I be? How big will I get? Will I be independent? That question itself will not arise. It is kind of like saying, how big can I build a hall? This is what happens in our ashram also. Swamiji, he said, we need to get a bigger hall. How big a hall? They have made it pretty darn big. So big, in fact, that they don't have enough money to finish it. So you can keep building bigger halls, and so on, which is okay in a particular situation. But if somebody you are introducing the concept of space, not a room space, and if somebody says, how big is the space? How big is the space? I cannot tell you. In fact, there is no measure for it. There is only a measure for a room space. There is no measure for a space. Space is in the small room, in a big room. Smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. Slower than the slowest, faster than the fastest. Amatra. So this is one of the things that we mentioned. Then, avyavaharyaha, we saw that. There's something that I wanted to bring about avyavaharya. I was reviewing these notes last night and I thought I would mention that. Yeah. Okay, now I remember what it is. Do you recall the example that I gave last week? Where there was a son who was unsuccessful in accomplishing something. Remember that? And he went to his dad and he says, you know, you're a very successful businessman, you manage a lot of people. Can you give me an advice of someone who has accomplished what I'm trying to do and unsuccessfully so? So the father said, absolutely. Absolutely. I can introduce you to that person. In fact, I taught him that skill. So the son says, this is amazing. You taught him the skill and you are seeing me struggle and you're helping others, we are not helping me. Why is that? He says, you did not ask me. You just took me for granted. Your view of who I am was based on what your conclusion is. And even if I were to have given you advice, you would not have taken it. Therefore, I never offered it. But now that you want it, I would gladly give it to you. This is one example we saw last week. What we should now see the application of that in our lives. So here's what happens. When we are looking for our happiness due to setup, at some point we get tired of it. How many setups do I need to, in Swami Paramarthananda's words, good words, how many setups do I need to have in order to be happy? I get tired of it. And then I give up and I say, is there someone who can teach me this? Is it possible? And the answer the Shastra gives is, yes. Why didn't you tell me before? You were not ready. You were not ready. It's like you're playing with marbles and balloons and so on. You're not ready for the serious stuff. Oh, really? You mean there is something? Yes. Who do I ask? Who do I resort to? And there the answer is Ishvara as your antaryami, which we will now take up. This is the line of thinking that we will take up. Ishvara as your antaryami. You did not even know that you are being helped. There is a lot going on. If you investigate it, you will get all the answers. And the fact that you are unsuccessful is not a surprise. You are knocking around in the wrong places with limited gains, of course. Life is like that. You do limited actions, you get limited results. Appropriate, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you really were looking into an unlimited, then find out the antaryami, Ishvara, who is within you. And so here, what I would do is straight away go to the word Advaitam. Well, listen to this. This was very helpful to me. These explanations and so on and so forth. So Swami Maheswaranji says, and this is an example and an image where this should be our focus really of the whole study. This is my recommendation to you. If what has been helpful to me, and this is my recommendation. This is what the main thing. And we've been kind of beating it about and so on and so forth. So here Swami Maheswaranji says that the concept of Advaita should be understood very clearly. Here we see these words Advaita, Dvaita, non-dual, dual, etc. What is it? And we'd say Mithya, and these are just words that we don't grasp yet. They don't really have a meaning for us in our life. But through these examples, the meaning of these words should be understood and dwelt on. And it starts to really take over you. So here's the thing. The difficulty we have in our life is we are willing to give up everything else except my concept of who I am. Ahankara. We keep that aside. It's kind of like a private me. And I don't want anybody to touch it. I can do vyavahara, I can do some transactions and so on and so forth. And those are the visible me. But I keep sacrosanct an idea of who I am. The problem with this is that this idea of the private me is highly distorted. It is not correct. And I keep protecting it. I keep it untouched. I am unwilling to touch it. And Vedanta says, listen, ultimately you have to touch it and then bargain and give it up. And I feel very uncomfortable. This is me. You can teach me classes, don't go beyond that. Don't try to touch me, my own self. This is me. I cannot do anything else. So the Shastra says, this is the issue, guys, please. You don't understand that all the happiness of the setup, all the vyavahara that you are doing is based on your ahankara. Swami Maheswaranji gives such a beautiful example to this. He said, when a person becomes the Prime Minister of India, or of any country for that matter, once you become a Prime Minister, you are now naturally attracting a lot of things. People give you honorary degrees. They invite you to convocations. They love to have you there. And you are given all kinds of respect. You're given the honorary PhD degree, Dr. Manmohan Singh or somebody. all is due to the fact that you have taken on a kind of a status that people just respect. Here's another example Swami Dayanandji had given. He said, there was a army general, and when he was promoted to become the general, all these uniforms, you have all these things hanging on their uniform. I don't know what they're called. They've got all full of their, I wonder how they put on their clothes in the morning. It must be quite a thing. Everything is all there and so on and so forth. So somebody asked him, hey, how did you get all these medals hanging on your chest? When did you get this? He says, no. As soon as I became the army general, these automatically were given to me. Exactly the same situation is with ahankara. As soon as I take birth and have an ahankara, other things are naturally attracted to me. And I become now fully engaged. This is what happens in our lives. If we interview any one of you, you have a very rich life, I'm sure. So many relationships, so many friends, so many aspirations, so much connection with your life. It's all you. And so the basic ahankara is now endowed with so many relationships. And the problem is that the relationships are all setups. And you are interested in having non-setup happiness. You cannot do non-setup happiness until you question, who am I? Am I the ahankara? And you cannot question the ahankara until something better is given to you. This is the problem. Here Swami Maheshanji quotes Bhashyakara Adi Shankara. And Adi Shankara in one of his commentaries says, there are many obstacles in the world that appear to cause problems. But if you examine the roots of all those obstacles, it all boils down to ahankara. So if you are interested in uprooting these various problems, you have to get to the root of it. Otherwise, exactly what happens is that you take out a weed and it grows back up again. You keep on doing it. Finally, you get tired of it. Some of these weeds have deep roots and it takes some work. This is exactly what we have to do. So now let us go into Advaita. This is the key thing that I wanted to teach today. So this concept of Dvaita and Advaita and Mithya and so on and so forth all needs to be focused on in a way that you can really grasp it. And what really helped me in my life was a clear enunciation by Swami Maheshananji on this, just absolutely marvelous. He said, look at the following way. You are looking at yourself in the mirror. So several things become appropriate here. You look at yourself in the mirror. In this process of looking at yourself in the mirror is the essence of the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. how, as you know very well, you've already gone through that, so I'll just a quick revision of that, so I won't go into that, but I want to bring it down to a focus. In the examination of the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, means that you and Ishvara, the Brahman, are one and the same. This is the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi. So as you know very well, the basis of Mahavakya is what is called Bhagatyaga Lakshana. So Bhagatyaga Lakshana means that you give up the immediate meaning of Tvam, means you, and you take up an indicated meaning of Tvam. We call Lakshana Vakya. So Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. You know this already. I hope you're pretty clear about this. Now look at this from the standpoint of looking at yourself in the mirror. So here's what happens. The fact of the matter is, you can never look at yourself. Never. Your eyes are meant to be looking outside. You cannot look at yourself. But what happens is, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you are indicated by your reflection in the mirror. So here's the meaning of the Tattvamasi in this context. Just look at it. You can never be the Tvampada Vachya. Why? Because the Tvampada, the Vachyartha, the direct meaning, is only possible for things that are away from you, or are different, are not you, not away from you, are not you. You can look at a person directly. You don't have to. You don't have to indicate it. You're looking at it directly. But if you wanted to look at yourself, there's no way you can do that. No way. Except for Lakshyartha. Lakshyartha means you look at yourself in the mirror and the mirror accurately describes who you are. Isn't it? You can comb your hair, you can shave, you can so on and so forth without having really a direct idea of your hair and your facial hair or anything. This is called Lakshyartha. You never have Vachyartha. But the Vachyartha has an indication to it. Now, let's take the next step. You're looking at the mirror. Does it create another person? Doesn't. It is in fact your image. Very useful. Very useful. But that's it. Look at the reality of your image. It has some usefulness to you so that you can see yourself. How do I look today? But other than that, the image by itself does not have the same reality as you. This means Advaita. How? Ahankara is your image in this world. This is your reflection. It is not you. It is your reflection. When you look at yourself as a person, this private you, this is your reflection in your mind, in the entire setup. And it is very good to look at it because it is the only way you can look at yourself as you are. Just like a mirror is very useful for you to look at yourself as the Lakshartha. And the interesting thing is that in other cases, perhaps it is optional. Optional in the sense that you could look at yourself in other ways. Like, for example, supposing you don't know whether you shaved or not, as the man's example, you can touch it. You don't have to look at it in the mirror. You can touch it and say, oh, I did not shave today, I better shave. In the case of the Atma, you have no other choice. It is not the type where you can say, I can either look at the Ahankara or I don't have to look at it. There's no other choice. So an examination of Ahankara is very important. And correctly sizing it up is very important. You're not going to give it up. This is the situation that we have. We are running blind. We're not ready to give it up. You don't know what else I should do. In fact, you are shortchanging yourself. You're just continuously looking at your reflection, which all of its distortions. Another thing, just look at this beautiful thing. Amazing. You know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, your eyes in the mirror, your eyes in your reflection are looking at you. You are looking at the eyes of the mirror, and the eyes of the mirror are looking at you. You close your eyes, the mirror also eyes closed. You open your eyes, the mirror eyes also open. Do you know what that means in terms of our life? You are looking at Ishvara through your eyes. You know what that means? It is Ishvara looking at you. You think you're looking at the Ishvara. In reality, Ishvara is making you look at himself through your eyes. The image in the mirror is inert, jada. It cannot look at yourself. It cannot look at you. The Chetana Vastu, the sentience, is only in you, not in the mirror, in that example. Even though it seems like it's moving and looking at you, waving at you, you wave at like this, the image also waves at you. It may look like it, but it cannot. Similarly, my ahankara is made up of jadavastu. It is made up of pancha mahabhutas. It is made up of the sattva amsha. Whatever amsha you mean, sattva, guna, this, that or the other, or we have gone through all of that. Basically, your ahankara is jada. It is not chetana. It looks like it is chetana. It is jada. A jada cannot look at, it does not have the capability. Ishvara alone is what is looking through you. You are not looking at Ishvara. Ishvara is making you look at Ishvara. In fact, ahankara is just a reflection in the mirror. And the sooner we examine it, the better off we will be. The sooner we understand there is someone who is the reality within me, which is the Antaryami, Ishvara. All my thoughts, all my tendencies, all my status in life is my samskaras are all jadas, and they are all observing the laws of Ishvara. This is where I am today. It is Ishvara shining through me based on my vasanas, my statuses, my thoughts. In reality, there is nothing else other than Ishvara. But through the reflection of Ishvara in the status that I am today, I am faulting it to be myself. This is what is called Advaita. There is nothing in the whole world except a one single Chetana Vastu, which is Brahman, which is Ishvara. And it is Advaitam, Avyavaharyam, Prapancha Upashamam. So Prapancha Upashamam here means that my restlessness, this is really what it really boils down to. My restlessness in life of looking for setups starts to just collapse. Don't need any of that. This is what I need to aspire to. This is the truth. Shivam, Sundaram. And if you even have a small glimpse of it, you cannot be except to be in love with that. After that, all of your so-called transactions in life will be just for appearance sake. That is not the reality. So this verse in the commentary of Gaudapada and the explanations by people like Swami Maheshananji and so on, is to point out that until you see that, until you had a glimpse of it through your own mind, through your understanding, your readiness, you'll still not be in love with it. You'll still be knocking around, doing things and so on. But if even a small glimpse comes in, your doubts will start to vary. You will go away. So this is the end of the Mandukya Upanishad. So this is the 12. Amatras chaturtho avyavaharya prapancha upashamaha shivaha advaitaha eva monkara atma eva samvishati. Samvishati means you enter into, you're no longer deluded by looking at your reflection in the mirror. You see that the reflection is in fact me. And I am different from the reflection. I am the Sakshi, not the Ahankara. And one very beautiful thing which I'll repeat, which I said earlier, now it comes, Samvishati Atmana Atmanam. So now, this is what Sri Krishna also says in the Gita, that you yourself don't need anything else as a sadhana. You don't have to go to a guru. You don't have to study. You don't have to do nothing. Your Atma becomes your own teacher. And the attractiveness of it, Sundaram, Shivam, but you must get a glimpse of it. It is exactly like Swami Maheshananji's example. How long should I study? That means that you are not getting the right match. So keep on studying. Do your BA, then your MA. This is what happens. Some of these girls, they're not getting the right varam. So they keep on studying. And then finally they become so qualified, nobody wants to marry them. That's another problem. But really, it's a question of qualification. And if you do that, then, so the meaning of Atmana Atmanam Samvishati means you don't need any external aids. Yourself attracts you. Because otherwise you say you are rejecting it. No, that's not me. I got to do some things. I got to go some places. I have to make more friends. I have to study more. Then you find I don't need to do any of that. I just examine. Then this is what is called the you take refuge in Ishvara. You say, I'm very sorry I didn't recognize you as my own self. My goodness. Make sure that you do not get me away from this. And make sure that I don't make this mistake. I have a very limited time in this life. And I want to make sure that I get to know you very well. So this is how the next Karika also summarizes. Omkaram padasho vidyat pada matrana samshayaha omkaram padasho gyatva na kinchitapi chintayet. So here several things are pointed out by Swami Maheshananji. He says, and all the other one, that once you understand that the Omkara represents everything in your life, the totality of it, because otherwise what happens is you feel that I am still growing as a person. What do you mean by some growing as a person? That means I got new experiences, I got to learn new things. This is a very common thing I see. I have to lie and pretend sometimes, honestly. People, I have some friends who are into multiple book clubs. So they'll say, do you belong to a book club? And I have to say, yes, sort of. Because if I say no, they'll say, what a strange person. He's not a thinking person or anything like this. And the other thing that happens all the time is somebody will say, I met a great person, you've got to meet him. It just happened just a few days ago. And in fact, I have to keep postponing it. That he's a very good teacher of Gita. I need the two of you to get together. I'll say, oh, that's wonderful, very nice. I'm done. I just have to introspect, and then this is nothing new that I need to do. And so, once you understand through the Omkara that everything that needed to be done is captured in these three. So your Sushupti Avastha, your Jagrat Avastha, your Sapna Avastha, and how all of them are reflections in the mirror. How many reflections am I going to see? Turiya is the main thing. This is what I have to do. And so here, finally, Swami Meshananji points out a very beautiful thing, but an important thing to see. He says, Pada matra na samshaya. This is a very important word to see. Na samshaya means, please do not indulge in doubting. For your sake. It's not as though, this is the thing, when you have a school of thought, some religion, that doesn't have all the answers, they ask you to say, don't ask any more questions. Just believe in what we're saying. If not, then go to somebody else. This is not that. It says that if you really understand the totality of it, Omkara Padasho Vidyat Pada Matra. Pada means that all the things that I have, the statuses of my life, the very parts of my life, are already captured in the U and Ma. There's nothing else. This is it. Stop knocking around. Then na samshaya means what happens is, the samshaya means that people, this is natural, we all sympathize. You still don't have a glimpse of the Atma. So you say, well, I don't know. Yeah, it's good, Vedanta makes a lot of sense, but. This but means that you are still keep on searching away from you. So Swami Meshananji said, please, we have seen it. There are, these are all Mahatmas that have had a lot of experience. They teach a lot. They are great people, really, with a lot of experience. And they say that we have seen how people go wrong. They any kind of a non-clarity in their understanding, they ascribe to some kind of a doubt. There must be someone else. There must be some new method. Maybe this is old method. Now science has progressed. All kinds of samshaya. So he says, please, keep doing it. and your doubts will be removed. Ask questions. I don't say don't ask questions. But this basic doubt you should not really have. And if you do that, Omkaram Padasho Jnatva. So this karma, then upasana, and then jnanam. It's like saying, how long should I do it? How long can I doing it? Until you are clear about the distinction between the Sakshi, which is only one Sakshi, which is Ishvara, and the multiple ahankaras. Only leave aside the multiple ahankaras, your own ahankara. Until this viveka between, until this, see, this is exactly what it is. What you should keep this image in your mind. That you are totally engrossed, not you personally, I'm just saying a person, is totally engrossed in looking at the image in the mirror without enquiring the source of the image, of the reflection. I keep saying image, but let's say the reflection. And so until it is clear to me that no reflection is possible without the real thing. The real thing is Ishvara, not the Jiva. The Jiva is the reflection. Until this is clear, Omkaram Padasho Jnatva na kinchidapi chintayet. That means that really all other problems, all other issues and so on will just fade away. It's just a matter of time. They'll completely fade away. It might take a little time because of your prarabdha karma, but slowly you will see that it is all going away. And what the Mahatmas all say is that even if your mind and body and so on and so forth, they give you some apparent problems, you dismiss it by saying, that's not me. That's not me. And even if things make you upset, you laugh at the fact, wow, this is how I used to get upset. But this is not me. The upsetting belongs to the mind and the body and the problems and so on. That's not me. I am something away from it. So this is the examination of examination of Omkara, Om, which we have done so far. So with this, the Mandukya itself now is over, and we will see. I mean, if we continue to have the same degree of detail, it will take us a long time to finish the rest. So I'll see how I can summarize it a little faster. But there is a lot more to be done. So now we have done. We're almost at the first of the 4 books of the Karika, and 3 more that need to be done. Why the 3 are needed? All of this is to remove the doubts that I have. So I should rely on the Shastra also taking care of my doubts. And so this is what Gaudapada has done, and so we will continue to do that from next time. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Shobharahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirmayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम Yes, Viren.
You have also explained the mirror image.
Yeah.
And yet it does not leave.
What doesn't leave? The image doesn't leave?
Yeah, the ankar doesn't it? Still there?
So the ankar, then what we said is that it is there, but as once you understand, like you do not get bothered by the image, because the image is a poor reflection of you. It's not the real you. So similarly, even if the ahankara doesn't leave, you're not bothered by it because it is simply your reflection. Now you enjoy it as your reflection because you know the real self. And so how that is done, that we will study some more. Yeah. Yeah.
So in your vyavahara with the Jagat, do you feel that sometimes you are viewed as being hypocritical?
You're being hypocritical? In what sense? You're saying that no, not really.
Not that you think that you're being hypocritical. Are you being viewed?
Oh, you're being viewed as being hypocritical.
Not that you think, then.
So you're saying that in your vyavahara, sometimes you are being viewed as hypocritical.
And not that it matters, but does it happen?
Well, I mean, no.
Okay.
I think what happens, at least from my own personal experiences, people would like me to be more involved in their affairs, and I can't. And so I just have to be polite about it and make a distinction between what is necessary and what is unnecessary. What is necessary, it is my duty to be involved. I have to do this. What is not necessary, then I have to politely tell them that this I cannot do. And if it causes some problems to them, that is all part of what it is, because you are very clear about what I need to do. So that kind of a situation does occur, but I think in general what you find is that because you remove any raga dvesha from your relationships, you just enjoy everything. You see things more clearly as you never did before, because you had an angle, some kind of some agenda which you don't have anymore. So you enjoy people as they are. But certain habits of yourself, are not necessary to change. If you are let's say a woman, then your love for other children is different than if you were a man. Then, for example, my wife, for example, she's very naturally attracted to all young kids, whether it was not her own. And I don't pay a lot of attention. I enjoy them. So there are differences in people's personalities and so on. That is to be expected. But other than that, there is no problem in vyavahara, per se. Did you?
Yeah. Can you go through the Sanskritam of Omakaram Patasho Vidyat Pada Matra Na Sanshaya? Matra is measuring. Matra, no matra.
Yeah.
It is not measurable.
Right.
Or is it, don't have the doubt, no sanshaya goes with the, no goes with the sanshaya, but no goes with matra?
So what it means is that, you now have a total explanation for everything in your life, which is the padas, and everything that the Shastra is saying as matra. So matra means the explanation of the matra. So for example, atva, vivakshayam, then utva, which was vijnane, then makara, bhave. Those are the three things. So in the matra, you have to understand that in the akara, there is a certain, all the things we talked about today, which is about the reflection, there is only one Chaitanya, is what was brought out in the akara, because it says that in the akara you should see that just like there is only one source of heat, which is fire, there can be only one Chaitanya, which is reflected in all of the people. So this is the matra which has to be understood. Then someone can say, okay, that all explains, I can see that way in my waking state. But what about the dream state? So similarly, then you say about the dream state, what about the sushupti state? So after that, you now have a complete review of anything that is possible in your life. There's nothing else outside of that. All your experiences can be all done that, they all fall as a subset. There's no superset to that. After that, there is no samshaya. And then so you do a one-for-one correspondence towards your life with respect to what it means. And so on. I remember, something just came to me. So when I decided to come to the US, I was 22 at that time. By the time I came here, I was 23. But at 22, all of a sudden, I announced to my family that I'm going away. This was a shock to everyone. And I remember my grandfather, my Nanaji, who was a Vedanta teacher. So he came to visit me. And he says, I want to understand, why are you going there? Because your mother is very upset and she doesn't want you to go. And you are upsetting a lot of people. I just want to know, why are you going? So I said, Nanaji, it's very simple. I just want to have some new experiences. This will be, I've never seen that. I'm a young person. He says, let me tell you, all experiences are the same. For a day or two, your eyes will be open. These are, skyscrapers, so on and so forth. All experiences. And I used to think, what an old-fashioned old man. He doesn't understand. Now I can see what he meant. And so this is exactly what it is. You examine all of your life and everything, and you find they have some common elements. After that, you don't have any samshaya. Well, maybe Mars may be a different experience. No. It'll be the same. It'll be the same. So the samshaya refers to everything and all of them, not particularly. Yeah. All right. Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Okay, good. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
The holiday schedule is the same? Continue classes?
So we will have, next week we'll get together. And then one after that on Saturdays, which one is, 15th, 22nd and 29th.
Yes.
I think we will have Saturdays.
Saturdays are okay.
Tuesdays, I think we may have some problems, but
Right.
I think Saturdays will continue with that.
Okay.
We'll look at it one more time,
Yeah.
but I think so. Okay.
Do you happen to have another one of these books?
No, you know what, I think Meera and Raj brought this set, and I gave you the copies of that. I sent copies of that.
You have
Remember, I
the-
sent
okay.
the
I have the whole
the
set.
PDF.
You have a PDF?
I sent you
I
the
didn't.
PDF. Yes, yes.
I don't have a PDF of this,
Of
for sure.
course, I sent it by.
Really? There is a PDF of
Yeah, I
this?
sent you.
Okay,
So
I'll go look.
about
okay.
8 to 10 pages. Now I'm getting ready to do another one.
Okay.
So yeah, you would
All
have
right.
that. It's
Okay.
just that as a separate book you don't have.
Okay, okay. I'll go
They're
ahead and
not
take a look.
available from the.
Yeah, they're not